Kyle here from allmediareviews.blogspot.com. It's been a while since I've made a YouTube video. Various reasons for that. Obviously, I was trying to make some in the car, and that was not the, the most successful route at this point. But other reasons, just life getting in the way, dealing with, taxes and health issues. I'm 40 years old, and I'm dealing with both kidney stones and hemorrhoids, believe it or not. It's not fun, but, I don't have a terminal illness at this point, at least. I can be thankful for that. Anyway, so that's part of the reason why I'm just not having the time, but I wanted to talk a little bit about, just briefly as possible, of course. I ended up going to see Biffy Clyro with o'Brother last night, and the biggest reason why, and I don't think I actually published a video where I mentioned this, Biffy Clyro is a band I've been a fan of for over 10 years, and o'Brother I saw open for the Deer Hunter, I want to say 2009, 2010, somewhere in that range. And I've liked them more or less ever since. They're sort of like annuals, but they have like annuals meets Torture, almost like a noise, but heavy, hard, almost like a post-hardcore. Anyway, they're a good band. They're a blend of styles, so it was worth going. But the number one reason why I went, and it was at the Turf Club in St. Paul, which is a plus overall, even though First Avenue's sort of monopoly has sort of influenced and made a big impact on the direction of that club. But I still like the Turf Club and prefer it over some places. But long story longer. Mike Vennart of Vennart and Birch Theater, and formerly of Oceanside, of course. He's the touring guitarist for Biffy Clyro. He has been for I got to meet him. I wanted to talk to him, hopefully, and I was able to. And but he's been a touring guitarist for them for the better part of 7 years, like since 2010, and talking to him. But he'd never been to Minnesota with Biffy Clyro, and I didn't even realize he had toured the U.S. at other times with them. But this is the first time he came here with them. He throughout Europe in their European tours since whatever 2010 or however often he's with them, he's done that. So so that was the main thing. He's an extra guitarist, and I think I didn't meet him, but also formerly of Oceanside, and if I can't remember his first name, Steve DeRose, I think it is. He also was there, but I didn't meet him or talk to him. I should have mentioned it to Mike after the show, but yeah, it was a great show. But Biffy Clyro, the last time I saw them in 2007 when they opened for Editors, were good, but definitely sort of new, I guess. I mean, they weren't that new, but new to the U.S. and playing to smaller venues than they're used to in Europe. And it's kind of the same boat still as a headliner now. They opened for Muse a few years back, but good show. The set list, I forgot about that. It's in my pocket. I ended up getting a set list. It was a lot of their new album, of course, Ellipsis, which there's like gum on this. This is like from the drummer, and I don't know if this is the complete set list, but this is relatively complete. It's a lot of songs from Only Revolutions, which is an album I showed on CD. I have on CD stuff like Bubbles and Golden Rule and Mountains. Those were probably the biggest highlights from that album. And then, of course, they did Living is a Problem from Puzzle, and they did a couple others from Puzzle. Machines is from Puzzle. I can't remember what. I should know the Biffy catalog better, but Opposites, of course, came out in 2013 after Only Revolutions in 2009, and their newest one, Ellipsis. Anyway, good show. Definitely some highlights. They have great energy, more stage presence than I saw them 10 years ago. Mike Vennart himself was there, kind of off to the side, and the stage, of course, the Turf Club is not huge, although maybe they've improved it since. But he's playing mostly rhythm parts with them, which I understand. It's not his gig. It's not his band. This isn't music he wrote. It's for the guys from Biffy. He's helping them out. But at points, I don't know. I was just thrilled just to see him and to enjoy a lot of the music. The crowd totally knew them. The crowd, of course, not too many people are aware of his background or even really who he is that I'm aware of. Although, somewhat surprisingly to that, and contrary to that statement, I probably ended up meeting about a dozen people afterwards that totally know him. They're Biffy fans too, but a couple of girl from Seattle named Dallas. She's going to the show in Chicago. I think it's tonight. And she's been to some other shows. Some of the people that were in Vegas and saw them anyway. But so I actually saw Mike get into the bus right when I was entering the alleyway to get to the venue, and the doors hadn't even opened. So I was gonna try talking to him then, but I didn't want to bug him. I didn't know if he had stuff, and he didn't catch me. So, but I waited around for a while, and the show ended relatively early. Oh, and I probably should mention before I get into more of the details of that, O'Brother was probably better than the last time I saw them. I ended up picking, and I'll maybe show more of this, picking up Garden Window, their first album on vinyl. I wanted to mention to one of the guys that the singer at times really does remind me of points of Jimmy Necco. Not the whole screaming kind of hardcore element, but his kind of clean or deeper voice. But getting back to Mike Vennart, he so after the show, looking for him, couldn't find him. Saw some people waiting out in the bus, and then they ended up leaving. Some people stayed, and then eventually he came out, and I don't know if they were really that interested in talking to him, because they were obviously Biffy fans too, but he just was like, oh no, come back with me. And there's another guy. MusicScene.org used to be a website that was active. I think it still exists with, for some reason, I don't know, 50, 100 plus Oceanside fans. This was less than 10 years ago. I don't know why in Minnesota there was this group of people that loved Oceanside, completely independent of my own taste and my own direction, because I wasn't a regular there that often. But I couldn't believe it, and then there was an Oceanside message board. I remember passing stuff along about that. Mike Vennart was completely anonymous, or completely oblivious to this, rather. But and I don't think we even stressed it enough. But yeah, there have been. So some of them actually were there. Nice guys, although they were kind of just fanboying. I mean, I was to a point too, but I didn't want to I just wanted to just kind of make things chill and stuff like that, and just say hello. Really pleasure to meet you. And he was really a humble, kind guy, just kind of shooting the shit, of course. And although the stuff about Oceanside in their present situation is not something he typically talks about, I guess, that much. So, and I was just telling him I love the Demon Joke, of course, and British theater, and he's working on a new record right now already. He's written a lot of it, so I don't know when it'll come out, in 2018 or 2019, in due time, hopefully. But it was a pleasure just to kind of see him perform the Biffy stuff, even though he was just kind of a side guy, and then get to speak with him for, I don't know, it was like half an hour, 45 minutes, and really kind guy, really down to earth guy that, and I guess I was just talking about certain things about, he mentioned meditation. I said Deepak Chopra's name, and I guess he'd never heard of him, so if I turned him on to Deepak Chopra, that would be awesome. Otherwise, it's just kind of cool just to kind of, meet sort of someone you look up to in a way, but, he's just one of us. He's just a normal person like a lot of these people, and so I gotta just say it was really a huge thrill, or just a really enjoyable experience, both seeing him perform and just getting to talk to him. And in a way, it reminded me a little bit of when I finally got to meet the Mew guys a couple years ago, after being a fan and seeing them twice in 2006 it was, and then they weren't accessible. And at the Turf Club it's a little different, but I guess Mike Vennart's been generally and genuinely accessible to fans, because he's just kind of, he's not incredibly well known. He's not known for the band necessarily itself in the U.S. especially. So, but it was a good show, very good energy. The crowd really got into it. It was sold out at the Turf Club, and I guess they had an offer to play at First Avenue's main room, but they probably wouldn't have sold it out. So it's probably for the best that they ended up playing the Turf Club. This is like the third or fourth time. I mean, I saw them at the Fine Line in 2007 when they opened for Editors. They've come here. They played the entry, I believe, at least once. I remember it was like really bad weather that day, and then I think they came at least one other time. But this is, I guess, the first time with Mike Vennart. So I'll stop babbling about that and just kind of close this video out. But I have, it's like 8 or 9 records here that, I don't know if I have time this morning to make another video, but I'll be making a vinyl video soon. But thanks for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe, and definitely if you get a chance and you're an Oceanside fan or a Vennart fan, or if you go into the Biffy Clyro show, maybe get a chance to talk to Mike, and you know that there's someone on YouTube and on the blogs that was suggesting it. So see you next time.